That our product is really, really made by excellent craftsmen. I couldn't make any of this without amazing Filipino craftsmen and craftswomen. I mean, just super, super talented people. My name is Matthew Brill, and I'm the founder of Prizmic and Brill. Prizmic and Brill began almost 35, 40 years ago. I came to the Philippines and I was super interested in some of the indigenous tribal woven fabrics, all the abaca, dagmay cloth, tinalak, bagobo cloth. So I began to make bags with some of the fabrics and collecting some, and then one thing led to another and I made a suitcase. So I looked for other ways to cover old-fashioned luggage like rattan and canvas. So I began making hard side luggage, which is all the old steamer trunks, wardrobe trunks, the way people used to travel on ships and so on. And at that point, I met a buying office making all that same luggage for Ralph Lauren, Polo. And I began making that luggage for them here in the Philippines. Then I took that and started doing my own version of it under my own brand. And a customer came to me, a customer called Bloomingdale's out of New York. And they said, can you take some of your luggage and turn them into home furnishing pieces? So that was really how our company began to do what we, what we do today. And then it splintered off into campaign furniture, okay, which is really classic English colonial stuff, all the folding, transportable furniture. Then we started making chairs and this and that, and so as you can see with what we do, it just kept evolving and evolving with that same kind of story. It's something that I think if you're interested in something, like the first suitcase we made was an old rattan suitcase I found in an antique shop. So when you're walking around, you see something you can relate to or you identify with, and you just have to have it, and you just, you fantasize about it, and you think about it, what it meant to someone who owned it, where it came from, and then could I duplicate it? Or could I put a twist on it? Could I improvise on it? Make it something interesting, make it my own. That's kind of it, it just comes from what you're interested in, basically. I think our first suitcase, I was living in Makati. I was living in Ecology Village, and I had a little lanai in my backyard, and I was able to find a sample maker, a guy that worked for a leather goods factory for years and years, and he was available, so I hired him, and we sat there and I took this antique suitcase and I said, listen, his name was Ray, Mong Ray. I said, Ray, we gotta make this. So I was able, started with the box itself. So we had made our first prototype of what I thought would be interesting as the beginning of something. And that was the inspirational piece. And we call it the Orient Express suitcase. And to this day we make it. And that's one of the items you'll be putting online. Of course, every one of my customers have an influence on the evolution of our product. I've worked with really, really super good designers. I've worked with people from Polo and Mitchell Gold in the States and all sorts of really super brilliant people that came and worked with us on things, and to this day, they've had an influence on our product. We do a lot of work in Africa, safari lodges, even mobile safaris and all that, and I work with one American who's really had a big influence on and taught me so much about campaign furniture. We work with Amampulo, the Amang Group, all the resorts all over the place. That has a whole little angle on our product. Six Senses, so a bunch of resort groups that have taken our product and giving them a little twist of their own. We have a huge golf program in America, from resorts and hotels and even visual display people. Zara came to us once and said, look, we have 800 stores. We need a beautiful set of trunks and some very cool campaign chairs for our next window display. And of course, they all do the same windows all over the world, each how many months. So we did their windows with our look. That our product is really, really made by excellent craftsmen. I couldn't make any of this without amazing Filipino craftsmen and crafts women. I mean, just super, super talented people. I can tell you that every nail, every part of a chair or what you're sitting on, it's all made by hand and tooled. You'd just be surprised to see how our products are made. I mean, it's just a really super amazing craft. I think there's a lot of soul, and there's a lot to say about the product because it's so really hand rendered. Actually, our imperfections are probably the beauty of our product. No two pieces are exactly alike. They all have a little bit of variation because they're all handmade. Basically, clear wax. You could even get away with clear floor wax, but you want to keep leather supple, moist, hydrated so it doesn't get dry. So you want to keep leather really hydrated and oiled, and you can buy mink oil and saddle soap and all these things, and that all helps take care of leather. The best-selling thing we make is called a Kipling desk. It's just this classic desk on a folding base, and we sell that more than anything, both for export and then locally. And you look at it, and it just says Safari. It says, campaign furniture. So you just need a couple pieces, really. It depends on how far you want to take it, but yeah, it's not difficult to set up a Safari-style room. Probably someone like Ernest Hemingway. This is a guy who lived large. This is a guy that fought in wars, was a war correspondent, traveled, he's an artist, writer, amazing person that just lived large. My God, his story is incredible. And I see that a lot of our furniture could have followed him around, that he could have lived in situations where he would bump into our stuff, whether he was in Cuba or he's in Paris or where life took him. I just see that his whole adventure story kind of, works with our story. I think when you come up with a great product and you step back and go, that's like a wow, and when you do a trade fair or you're setting up a new showroom or you're presenting something to a new customer and you're at it and you finally get it, that's the wow. Whether it's the wow piece or the wow, your whole setting, and I think that's what you're after, is creating that wow effect.